Hello there guys, and welcome back to our car modeling tutorial. And today in this episode we're going to continue with our Ford GT. We're going to continue more specifically with the headlights as well inside here. Now it looks like I haven't quite got everything that we created, because we did create here. If this was a larger project, I probably would create layers just to allow me to grab everything a little bit easier, but hopefully it won't take too much longer on this. So we're going to want to have a go at creating our main kind of lenses in here. So let's maybe select all of this. I'm going to hide everything else so we can kind of see what's going on in there, and then let's maybe do the same on our front view. I don't think we're going to see too much on our side view there, so I'm not going to be too worried about that. But what we will do is let's maybe just do it anyway. So yeah, we can't really see anything there. So we're going to have a go at making these. It looks like it's fairly complicated. I've got a bunch of reference images to kind of help us out. The only real angle we can see anything is at the top here. So let's go and we'll create this with a plane. So let's go and bring this over here, and let's bring this up. Okay, and we can see roughly where it's going to sit in here. I'm going to reduce this plane down all the way down to 1 and 1. Okay, and let's have a go here at just kind of plotting this in the corners. So it looks like we've got this kind of edge that goes around. So I'm going to go and take these down here. Okay. So I think what we'll do is let's drag this all the way over to the corners here, and then take this one to this corner here. What we may be able to do is actually, rather than, let's maybe just try and make half of it, and then we could flip it over, and then we can kind of make the angle afterwards. So we'll eyeball it the best we can. Let's bring this over to roughly in the center here, and let's do something like that. So I'm going to make it on a kind of flat orientation. So let's go and take this. I'm going to hit Control E, and I'm going to start to take that around the bend. I'm going to hit Control E again, and then just go a little bit more. And let's maybe go here and just pull these in this direction just a touch. I'm going to take this edge down here. I'm going to hit Control E again. We're going to go around here, and I'm going to hit Control E one more time. I'm going to take that over there. Okay, so maybe pull that back just a little bit further to do something like that. I think we're going to want to go and grab this bit here. And I think with this, we're going to want to take this down. So it's impossible to see on here, but we do want to drop this down. Maybe something like that. We'll take that down too. Okay. So I'm thinking we want to be going along there like that. Okay. I'm going to go and take this one. I'm going to hit Control E, and let's take this all the way across here, like so. Actually no, let's maybe not. I'm going to dial that back. I'm going to get rid of these here. Let's actually take it back to this point, and let's straighten that off. So I think we want to actually do that. Let's hit Control. It looks like actually here, what we actually want to do is we want to be actually in this area, and we want to make this a lot thinner. Let's actually take that in here. So we actually want to be something like that, and then take this in here, and then make that a bit straighter. And then we'll take this one. Okay, take that off all the way to the back there, and just make sure it's nice and straight. Okay, so we want to do something like that. And then what we're going to want to do is grab these edges here. I'm going to hit Control E. I'm going to pull out on the green. Okay, I'm going to pull out all the way to this point, and then I'm going to push these down here on the blue. Just something like that. And then at this stage here, I'm going to grab this back edge. I'm going to hit Control E. I'm going to pull it down on the green arrow, and then push that one back there. Okay, so I've got that angle that drops down in there for us. I'm going to take all of these edges again. I'm going to hit Control E. I'm going to pull this down just a touch. Okay, so I'm going to go something like that. And I'm really just using my reference images here to do some work. Maybe, yeah, actually, maybe before we bring that down, let's grab this edge. I'm going to hit Control E. I'm going to pull that down just a little bit. Okay, and then it looks like I want to be about halfway with that, and then it looks like the bottom is the exact same as the top here. So we'll formulate this top, and then that will allow us to mirror this onto the underside as well as going across. So let's take all of these. I'm going to hit Control E, and on the blue we're going to pull that down just a little bit. I'm going to grab this one here and just do a little bit of work to kind of make sure we're looking good there. I think we'll probably as well pull that forward a touch too. Okay, so I want to be something like that. We're going to hit, let's maybe actually grab these pieces here. We'll hit Control E. I'm going to pull these in on the green. Maybe something like that. Maybe we'll see on the top. Yeah, so we'll pull those in on the green like so. I'm going to take these ones here. I'm going to pull them further down. Like so, and then in, because I want this to be nice and straight as it goes down there. Okay, and then let's go and maybe take these edges here. Actually, we want this next bit to be flat, so what we could maybe do is we could actually maybe grab these ones. I'm going to hit Control E. Let's take them across. I'm going to straighten them off. Just pull them to about there. I'm going to hit Control E again, and we're going to want to go and match this location. So I'm just going to hold down V and snap it in line with those up there. And then with my target weld, let's weld those ones there together. These faces here, I'm going to hit Control E, and we're going to extrude those in just a touch here. Okay, going to get rid of those edges as well. Okay, so I'm thinking we're looking quite nice there. So I'm going to grab this, I'm going to hit Control D, and on the scale Y, I'm going to hit -1. So we should be able to take this across here. So I'm going to grab both of these, I'm going to hit Combine, and I'm just going to drag straight down the middle, and let's hit Edit Mesh and merge all those vertices together. It's a little bit awkward actually because of this one, so let's maybe just run through them one by one. So I'm just going to merge all of these together. I'm just hitting G on my keyboard to repeat the last tool. Okay. Okay, so that's looking good through there. That's looking quite nice. So we're going to want to go again with this. We're going to hit Control D, and on the scale Y, so I did the scale X last time, on the scale Y I'm going to hit -1 as well, and then we're going to pull this down here so that it matches the one above it, like so. So I'm going to grab these, I'm going to combine these as well, and then just like before, let's take these ones, going to merge those, this one and this one, and then just do the same over here. Okay, we can hit 3 to test that, just to make sure everything's looking good, which it is. So that's perfect there. So we've got like that kind of base shape. We're sitting at about the right height inside here for them. We're not quite sitting at the right width, I don't think. Maybe what we could do is we could just scale this out a little bit. I'm thinking that that's probably the kind of interior glass section. So I'm just going to scale that out. And it's got a slight rotation to it. But I'm just going to leave mine straight, at least for now. It's just going to make everything a lot easier for us as we build it. So maybe find a good balance inside here. Okay, so happy with that. I'm going to go in here and create a... Maybe we could build this from a box. Let's just bring this into the right spot here. Okay. So just held V to get that snapped in the center. Let's scale this down. And again, I'm looking at multiple examples here of this. Some of them are a little bit different. I think the car differed a bit between its kind of concept stage and then afterwards, but we're looking okay. So we'll get that snapped into the center. I'm thinking that this bit here is the actual kind of glass that goes inside. So I think it comes out something like that. I'm going to go and bring this glass maybe down here, and I'm going to extend that out because it looks like it protrudes out the front there. I'm going to maybe pull this a bit further forward. Okay, and I think we just want to do two things really with this. I'm going to grab all the top and the bottom edges, if I can see it. There we go. So I'm going to grab all of these and I'm going to bevel these. I'm going to bevel that maybe to about maybe 0.3. Yeah, I think 0.3 looks good. And then I'm actually going to bevel the edges of those. Not that one now. Okay, so all of those beveled edges are going to run around and grab those. Let's take these ones too. Okay, so grab all those. I'm going to hit bevel again. So edit mesh and then bevel. And I'm going to turn the fraction right down low. Maybe 0.05, no, 0.1. And then maybe 2 segments. Maybe 0.2. Okay, just so we get some nice definition to that. And then I think what we'll do is let's maybe grab these rear edges here and we'll have a go at beveling these. And reduce that right down. So maybe 0.2 and then 4 segments. And then we'll bevel these front ones here too. I think that actually looks pretty good right off the bat. Bevel here is not looking the best, which is a little bit frustrating, but I think that looks fine. Let's maybe just redraw in this edge. I don't know if you guys have got the same problem here. I'm just going to redraw this in. Let's go real quick and jump on my edge slide. It's not going to let me do that, so. Let's pull that over here. Okay, so just redraw that so it looks a bit cleaner. Because hopefully what we are going to want to do is grab these ones now and add a very small bevel to these. Yeah, so that's worked out nicely. So I'm thinking 0.1 and then 2 segments on there. Okay, so that's looking quite nice. Let's think about this whole section. So I'm going to insert some edge loops here because I think we'll probably want to smooth this too. So let's go and add some loops to tighten this up, just across there. So we can see that that's looking nice as it runs up there. Do the same on here. So let's actually maybe bevel this. I'm gonna maybe just isolate the selection for this. Let's bevel this edge and do the same underneath. Because it doesn't run the same, the geometry doesn't run the same. We could make it run the same, but we'll just grab those. Let's maybe just take these ones too. Actually no, we'll leave those. So we'll grab all of those. Let's hit bevel on these. I'm just going to take that fairly small, maybe 0.2, and then just drop a segment in between there, which looks fine. I'm going to insert a loop, maybe 2 loops in that section there, just to help tighten up that front portion. It does look actually like before we do that, I'm actually going to remove those 2 edges real quick. And I think what we actually want is we do want these here to be a bit thicker. Let's grab all those. I'm going to grab my scale tool here. I'm going to pull those in. So it looks like we actually want to do something like that. And we also want it to come forwards. Like so. Just going to take these ones though. Do something like that. Okay. So I'm going to throw those loops back in here. Okay. So we're looking really nice all the way around on there. I think the last thing we're going to want to do is insert, maybe that's actually a bevel. So let's grab all of this. Take these ones too. I'll have a go at beveling those. Okay, so I think maybe just a fraction of 0.3. And then when we hit 3 on those, we can see that we've got a little bit of definition to that edge there, which looks really good. And then we're not going to need to smooth the actual kind of bulb section. We don't need to worry about that. Okay. So I think that's looking good. Let's maybe bring both of these back here. I'm actually kind of thinking that this whole section here, we actually want this to be a lot further forward. A bit more like that. Maybe let's just grab these edges here. Maybe get rid of that one and that one. And bring these forward. Okay. With the bevel, we've lost a little bit in terms of the kind of width of this. So I think what we're going to want to do is we are going to want to pull these out on either side here. And then I think we want to maybe just give this a bit more depth. So let's pull that this way. And then maybe just take the whole thing in slightly. So I think we want to be a little bit more like that with this. Okay, so that's looking good. I'm going to go and take all of these edges and let's go and duplicate these. Okay, and then I want to grab the vertices here. So I'm going to take all of these, just pull them to the side. Do the same with all of these. I'm going to take these central ones here and just pull them on the blue a touch as well. I'll take these ones and pull them in on the side there. Do the same on the other side. And then with the front ones, I'm going to grab all of these and just pull it this way slightly. Okay. I'm going to go modify, let's center the pivot here. I'm going to pull this up a touch. I'm going to take all the edges apart from these ones. I'm going to hit Control E. And I'm going to take these up to almost the top. Maybe in line with that slightly lower line there. Okay, I'm going to hit Control E. I'm going to push in there on the blue, just so it intersects with everything else. Okay, and let's go and insert some edge loops for this. So drop those there, and the same on this side too. Okay, then we can hit 3 on those. And then one last thing we'll do is, it looks like they're roughly the same kind of size as these. Let's maybe take those along with these. Isolate the selection. Does look like we're going to need to insert some edge loops at this lower bit, so just underneath here, just to stop that kind of rising up and affecting this top portion. Okay. I'm going to go create 2 new materials here. I'm going to create like a little kind of gold material, like a pale, really pale gold, like that, and then assign it just over here. Okay. And then this one here, actually maybe we could just use our usual darker Lambert. So we've got this bit inside there. I'm going to hit Control D for this and just take this up. Let's go for mesh and separate here, and I just want the 1, so I'll grab this, center that pivot. Okay, so let's go, I'm just going to drop this down here into position. Let's bring this in a touch. Okay, so we have what looks like a couple sitting in here. So we have one in the center. Let's bring that in. Let's maybe scale it down. Okay, took that down in there. So have something like that. Okay, I'm going to hit Control D, and it looks like we have one that goes all the way to the edge here, and then one that sits in between. Okay, and then one that stretches all the way down there. I'm not going to be too perfect with those. And then one that stretches all the way down there as well. Okay, so I think that's looking okay. We do have a little bit of clipping, but it's not like crazy. Let's maybe just grab them and just lower them ever so slightly more. It might have been better to go a little bit deeper on that extrusion, but that should be okay. And then let's just go and take all of these as well and combine those. Okay, so got this top section then, so that's looking really nice. Let's maybe take these. Let's take the interior bits for this too. select, actually we need the glass here as well. So I'm going to isolate that selection. And then what we're simply going to do here is we're just going to grab this again. We're going to hit Ctrl D. I'm going to move this up. We're going to bring it into position for this one up here. And take it back. And then we're going to need to scale this all down. So I'm just going to hit Ctrl G on this to group it together and center the pivot. And then just scale that down. Okay, something like that. Okay, so that's looking okay. Let's just go in here then and take everything assigned to this and just pull it all the way. Take that into. Grab all of those and drop those in. Okay, so we're looking quite good for the most part here. It does look like they're a little bit closer. So again, I'm going to grab these. I'm going to hit Ctrl G to group them together. Let's center that pivot real quick. I'm going to scale them up so they're a little bit fatter. I'm going to do that to both of them. It's going to let me center the pivot for this one. Okay, there we go. And I'm just going to increase that one and maybe just move it up a touch as well. So we've got something a bit more like that. Okay, so I think we're looking good there. I think that's looking quite nice for the headlights inside there. What I could maybe do is just make a second glass. Just hit Ctrl D in there and let me assign that down here. Just going to reduce the color down a touch and then just have more transparency applied to that as well. Okay, so I think we're looking quite good there, guys. I'm fairly happy with how they've turned out. Once we've got contrast of shadows and such in there, it will look really nice. We could maybe block it off. Maybe we could add like a plane that runs in there just to block it all off a little bit more so it's not looking so deep in comparison to everything else. But if I do that, I'll maybe show you between videos for that just there. But I'm happy with that, guys. So if you enjoyed this episode, please hit the thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. In the next episode, we've just got a couple of things to finish up and then that'll be us. We've just got some odds and ends to do. I guess I'll catch you in the next one.